I'm going to show you an example of Match Mania and how it plays. You can see here that all of the players have their tiles set up in their bleachers. Now we're playing with a limited number of tiles right now just for the example, but there would be twice as many tiles, and all the excess tiles would go in just off to the sides where when a player can't go, they can draw from those excess tiles in order to fill their bleachers with commodities. So looking at each of these, you can see that there are numbers and pictures on each of the tiles. The numbers correlate with a commodity type. So you can see all of the Coca-Cola products have a 1 on them, all of the Lifesaver products have a 4 on them, McDonald's has a 5, and that's simply just to make the matching a little bit easier when there's so many colors and products on the board. When the ultimate goal of the game is to place out for play groups of commodities, at least a minimum of 3. So you can see here that we have 3 McDonald's tiles. This would be considered a group. A set would be when a player can add a 4th piece to that. So in this case, it completes the commodity, and in order to do this, you must have 4 different tiles of the same commodity all at once. If I, for example, had 2 tiles that looked like this, that would be an illegal play, and you wouldn't be able to play those tiles down. So you can't play the tiles until you have the 3 or 4 different parts of the same commodity. One of the limitations. Now this wild tile, though, can take the place of it, saying if you only had 2 pieces of a commodity but you also had a wild tile, that wild tile can become a 3rd or a 4th piece, making a group or a set. The ultimate goal, however, is to make what's called a match. And a match is when you have 4 different parts of the same commodity, all of the same color. When you've done this, you've gained for yourself 5 points. You get to pull it off of the game area for where all the tiles are being played, and you get to keep this in your own stack for counting points at the end of the game. Okay. So in order to initiate the game here, we'll go over here to the first set of tiles, and you can see how she's grouped them into similar groupings. Go ahead and play your first group. And during her play, she can play as many groupings as she has. So she has a wild tile over there. So she has a Lifesaver grouping she's made into a set already because she had 4 different parts. But she has other sets here as well. So she has, for example, McDonald's and a wild tile over here that she can combine into a group and place out for play. Now, anybody who has other components of that on their turn can add to that. Now, one thing they cannot do is when they add or take tiles from one of these groups or sets, they cannot place the tiles back in their own bleachers. They have to be able to work them into a new group or set. Okay, I think that's all for you. So let's come over here to player 2. Player 2 would evaluate what they see. Oh, they have the 4th piece. So they pull that 4th piece off, and they get to keep those. Go ahead and pull that back by your bleachers. But they cannot leave that blue out there by itself. They need to somehow add to this, make a new group with the existing Lifesaver tile. So looking at the bleacher, they do have Lifesaver tiles. So let's go ahead and add those 2 reds, the 2 red 4s, to the blue 4 into a group setting. There you go. Just, let's see. We've got this one. And, oh, and we'll have to do a wild tile. There we go. Just like that. Now we've got ourselves a group. Now let's see if we've got any other groups. It looks like we do have groups with, do you have a 3rd piece? Okay, go ahead. Yep, she can. Place the 3rd piece on the McDonald's piece, and then the wild tile can be shifted right over to fit in that spot. Good. No, and then let's go ahead and do the Microsoft grouping that you've got here. So you've got 1, 2. How many parts do you have? Yep. So that one's a repeat, so you won't be able to use that piece. But you've got 3 parts making a group. Go ahead and put that out for play. Now you want to get rid of your tiles as fast as you can because they will count against you at the end of the game. Each single tile that is left in your bleachers once the winner has won will count 1 point against you. Each wild tile will count 3 points against you. Okay, so we move to the next player, and this player evaluates what is out here for play, and they add to that what they can add. So go ahead and add some groups and sets, and it looks like you can add to the lifesavers. Yep. So we'll add to the lifesavers, and that completes a set for that. Looks like we also have plenty of Coke here. You might be able to make a Coke grouping. So you have okay, so this is good. Right here, because she has the same parts of the Coke, she only really has 2 almost groups. So in order to complete one of those as a group, she can use her wild tile in order to complete one of those. There we go. And you can set that one out for play. Go ahead and set that first one out. Then we look back here to see if any of these lifesavers. Now, you've got 2 lifesaver parts, and there of course is a blue over there that can be taken to create another lifesaver. So we're going to take your lifesavers here, and we're going to place them out for play here. We've got 1, 2, and then we can take the blue. Because it's a set, you can only draw from sets if there are 4 pieces there. You can't draw from groups because you need to leave a minimum of 3 tiles in each grouping. Okay, and then lastly, we'll move to, oh, you've got the completing piece for that one, so you can just add that and then claim those as your own points. And as you go around, oh, and you've already prepared some groups and sets for yours, so you'll place those out for play. Anyway, then the game continues until all the excess tiles are drawn from the non-play area and placed on the bleachers, and then until the last matches can be made. Once the last matches are made, the game is over, and excess tiles count against you. Thank you. That's Matchmania.